Hi, what the hello. First of all, sorry if you can hear that loud noise outside that won't shut up. I don't know what's going on at the house next door, but it's being loud and annoying. So last night I started a new book. And I still can't believe NetGalley actually gave me a copy of this. Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. It's their newest that's coming out in October, which they literally just came out with a book in May. Holy shit, they're like writing demons. This book follows a girl named Tate, and in the beginning of the novel we see her at age 18 going to London, where she meets this boy that she falls in love with and she shares everything with. Everything, including the one big secret that she never tells anybody, which is that her dad is a very, very famous actor. She had kept that a secret. She had changed her last name and everything because they wanted to keep her away from the media, and she didn't have contact with her dad or anything, so she was living off with her mom and her grandma. And then she and her grandma go to London. She meets this boy. She falls for him very hard, very fast, but she ends up realizing he was not the person that she should have put her trust in. Because her secret gets out, the media finds her. Then we flash 14 years later, where she is now an up-and-coming actress. She gets to the set of this new movie, one she's very excited to do, and who does she find but the boy she met in London who betrayed her and broke her heart. I got halfway through this last night, so clearly I'm enjoying it because I'm just speeding through it. It's really good. The only thing that, I don't know if it's necessarily a problem for me, but it could be for other people, everything that I just told you, which is in the synopsis, is pretty much the first half of the book. So you do go through a lot of story development in which you already know what's coming. However, why it hasn't been a problem for me is that the writing has just been so wonderful, and I would say the first 30% of the book follows those 2 weeks that she had in London with Sam, the boy. I don't think I mentioned his name. And I really do feel like those weeks needed to be explored in order for the reader to feel how Tate is feeling. Normally, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of insta love. I don't know if this felt like insta love to me. Obviously, falling in love with someone in 2 weeks is very fast, but I think the way that it's written, it's just so good that I was also swept up. And even though I knew what was coming because of the synopsis, I was still taken aback when it actually happened. And I was just like, I'm sorry, huh? This definitely feels different from any Christina Lauren book that I have read before. It just kind of feels a little more heartfelt. I do feel like I know the reason that's gonna be given for why this guy betrayed her trust, and I don't know if it's supposed to be guessable or not. I feel like it is, I don't know, but it's just gonna be interesting to see how it's played out, because I think that will really be what makes this book a hit or miss. Right now it's absolutely a hit for me. I am completely swept up in it, and I want to know what happens, especially now that I finally gotten to the point where the rest of the book is not in the synopsis. So we shall see. I will keep you updated. It's different, but I'm enjoying it and can't wait to see how it goes. It definitely has me in my feelings, and for those that like sexy time Christina Lauren, there's definitely sexy time. It's not like super explicit, it's not fade to black, but I feel like it goes into a little less detail than some of the other books that I've read by them. I'm gonna go read now. Hello gals and gays. Please ignore if I have any food in my mouth because I just finished eating dinner. But last night I finished reading Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I've been thinking about what I wanted to rate this book all day because I'm really kind of in the middle here. Like, part of me absolutely loved it and part of me felt like something was missing, but I don't know what. So right now I'm settling on a 4.5. Could be more of a 4, maybe later on it'll be more of a 5. I really don't know. I haven't felt so conflicted about a book in like a long time, but regardless of the fact, it was really good. I had read like the first chapter of this like a while ago, but then I had my little graphic novel thon spree thing instead because my brain cells were gone. But otherwise, I essentially read this in 2 sittings and absolutely flew through it. It's very much this whirlwind romance that you completely get swept up in. I think I mentioned that I had a feeling of a lot of the reasons behind the characters' actions and a lot of the plot points that were going to occur, and this was definitely very predictable in that sense to me. Things that were revelations to the main character, Tate, I did not find to be surprising, and I'm not really sure if they were supposed to be or not. Now, normally that would probably be an issue because you want to be, you know, surprised in books, but for me this was so character emotion based that it was more navigating through those feelings feelings that was what hooked me, not the things that were particularly being revealed themselves. Some books, I think they do rely on like, ooh, look at this that just happened. But this book, I kind of saw everything coming, but I was still really enjoying it. There was one thing that happened at the end that I did not see coming, and I thought that was interesting. But for the most part, I was like, yeah, this is pretty obvious, and maybe that's why I just feel a little off about it, because it was predictable but I also didn't mind, so it's just kind of a strange feeling. I definitely feel this is going to be a book that gets a lot of mixed opinions on some of the decisions and consequences that these characters face. This book just feels a lot more heartfelt than the other Christina Lauren books that I have read, and I think it's because of the early romance that we see between these two characters. It starts out the book that way. I didn't realize that it would be like 30% of the book would be when the characters first meet in London. But I'm glad that we did get that as a good chunk of the book, because I think without it, we wouldn't have been able to understand and really feel Tate's feelings, and I just think that was what overall was so well done. Another thing is that a lot of the times with time jumps, the characters don't feel that different, but I think Christina and Lauren did a really great job at showcasing these characters at 18 and 21 versus 32 and 35. The way they react, the way they carry themselves, the way they speak, it just actually felt different for once, and I really appreciated that. So overall, this just left me with a lot of emotions, I guess, and I did really enjoy it. Like I said, I think I'm giving it a 4.5 stars. I don't know where to put it in there because it's so, I don't know, it just feels weird to me for some reason, like something was missing, or I just can't quite settle. I don't know. But overall, another impressive book by Christina and Lauren. Something else that I really enjoyed about seeing the early sort of romance for Tate is just her experience of this love for the first time. It was just, I feel like that was so well written. Like, I haven't even had a first anything, but I felt like, yeah, this is how it's gonna feel, and it kind of made me like excited to have that first sort of romance. I don't know, it was very cute. There's definitely some sexy scenes, but I feel like compared to some of their other books, it's a bit more tame. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. It was super cute. Go get it in October. Who wants a library book haul? I had some holds come in, so I went to the library. 2 of the books were just my holds, and then 1 was one that I picked up at random. Like in my last vlog, they are all graphic novels. Love getting those things from the library because otherwise they're just so expensive. Can you tell I'm hot and sweaty because I just got home? Woo. So the first book I have is Spinning by Tilly Walden, who also wrote On a Sunbeam or drew On a Sunbeam. I don't know. All I know about this is that it's about lesbian ballerinas, or a lesbian ballerina, and I think it might be autobiographical, whatever the word is. I'm not entirely sure, but I quite enjoyed On a Sunbeam. I wanted to pick up this one, and it seems like it's gonna be good. I like the tone of the art. It's all this like bluish purpley kind of thing, and the text on this one seems a lot larger than On a Sunbeam, which thank God. Then my other hold was Paper Girls Volume 5. I believe this is the latest release, and then the next volume, which I think is the last volume, comes out sometime later this year. Paper Girls is about these 4 girls who deliver papers. It's set in the 80s. One night they find this weird thing in someone's basement, and just a whole bunch of weird shit happens. It's sci-fi, and I quite enjoyed the first 4 volumes, which I read all in my last video, or my last vlog. So I'm excited to continue with the series. And then the last book I have, I picked up at random because Whitney was watching my vlog and she said, hey, I see your library has this book that I really loved. You should get it. It is Here by Richard McGuire, and from what she told me, it's about this like one room, and it just goes through what it was in different stages. So like the same place, but how it looked in different years. So it doesn't really have, as Whitney said, any meaningful or necessary text. It's just showcasing this one room, this one area, how it looked through different decades, which I think is a really cool idea. So yes, that is my little library book haul. I don't know which one of these I'm gonna read first. Depends on how many brain cells I have. So I just got back from Target. Who's surprised? Iced caramel macchiato. Who's surprised? Actually, I don't ever think I've talked about what I get at Starbucks, so maybe it is a surprise. But I thought, while I've already been hot and sweaty, I could give a little update on some graphic novels that I finished. So first we have Spinning by Tilly Walden. For some reason, I thought this was about ballerinas, because either someone said that or I just didn't look at the cover enough to see the skates, because this is about an ice skater, not a ballerina. But ice skating is even more interesting to me, so that was just like a plus. This is like a memoir of sorts, because because she's telling her story of when she was an ice skater as a young girl, but it also blends other things that happened in her life, bullying that she experienced, her parents not being as involved as other ice skaters' parents, being a lesbian in a not so accepting time. I think she's in Texas somewhere. So there was a lot of stuff going on in here. I thought the art was super beautiful. It was all this same like purpley toned, and I don't know, it just really kept me hooked. Like, I didn't want to put this down. I finished it in one sitting. I've always really been intrigued by figure skating, and I've always kind of wished that I'd done it, but this kind of makes me glad that I didn't, because it just sheds a light on the not so glamorous aspects of it, and the way that women especially, they're expected to wear these tiny little dresses with like nothing underneath because they can't have any lines showing, and they have to have their hair perfect and their makeup done, whereas guys get to just come out in pants. Maybe they do their hair, who knows. It's just a very limiting thing, and we see how that affects Tilly as she grows. One thing I didn't like about this was that sometimes, especially in the latter section of the book, I felt like the pacing was a little off. The scenes cut off a little too soon for me. I felt like her high school years went by really fast, whereas her other years were more fleshed out. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. Then yesterday, I picked up Here by Richard McGuire. I literally just got this because Whitney told me to, and it was really beautiful. It just tells the story of the corner of this room throughout time. I found the second half of this to be way more entertaining, because instead of just showing different like time settings, pictures, whatever of this room, there's a lot of overlap, things that happen that are similar, like insults being thrown around, things being lost, and seeing the comparison between different times and seeing how they were similar and also different. It was just really unique, and the art was absolutely stunning. Like I said though, the second half was way more interesting to me than the first, so I did give this one 4 stars, but it was just such a cool, intriguing idea to just see this section of space and how it changes over the years. I would recommend if you're just looking for something quick. I will say that you could get through this really fast because there's minimal words, but I actually ended up reading it like in the same night, but I read the first half and then the second half because it does make you think, and it's a good one to sort of let your mind chew a little. I'm gonna drink my coffee and cool off now because I'm sweaty. So, still not over the Hunger Games news. If you want my reaction, go watch my last video because I made a whole video about how there's a freaking Hunger Games prequel coming out. Can you believe it? I can't. Okay, back to the video. But today just keeps getting better. I got a package from Whitney today. My best friend, my girl, would die for you. You are my homeschooling biscuit. We will roll out the punches because she likes to spoil me. She sent me a gift for my half birthday. That's the thing apparently. And as always, she did too much because she's too sweet. So first the non-bookish stuff. This adorable little card. Please focus on it. Oh my god. Can you, it's so cute. And then a bunch of chocolates from Trader Joe's because I don't have a Trader Joe's near me. And these peanut butter cups are life. I mean, I only just now learned that they're life, but then onto the books, which I literally cannot. We have We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. One of the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my life. I don't really know what it's about, but I know it's sapphic, and I loved Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, so I'm very excited to read this. Then we have a book that I'm so excited to read because Whitney just read it and she gave it full 5 stars, loved it so much. I'm probably gonna read this next. It's The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. This is a romance book, and all that I really know is it's about a girl who I believe is involved with her friend's wedding, and she ends up crushing on the groomsmen. I think it's enemies to lovers. And I know one of the big things with her is that she can't have kids, so that has had an effect on like her love life, and I think the guy maybe like wants kids or something. I don't know, something along those lines. I just know it's gonna be amazing. Then she sent along to me A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This again, I don't know much. I think it's a standalone. No, it's not a standalone. It has a sequel coming out. I don't know. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Everyone has been raving about this book this year. I think it came out in like January or something, so. Then we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Again, I don't know much about this, but it's a romance. A lot of people liked it. I think Whitney liked it. I think the character in this book might have autism. Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different one? I don't know. I just heard this is some good shit. And then the last 2 things, I have to go do a little dress change. Hold on.
12 seconds later.
I couldn't afford this when it came out, and I had like read Whitney's Arc, so I didn't have my own copy. She got me my own copy of my favorite book of the year, one of my favorite books of all time, Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. If you somehow haven't heard of this book, it is a romance book between the first son of the United States and a British prince. It's like an alternative universe where a woman won the election in 2016, and now they're heading into 2020, hence the shirt. It's like kind of enemies to lovers, but like the enemies is like not strict enemies, it's just like a little bit, and then like, and it's so good. It's cute, it's funny. No book does millennial humor like this book, and we get to see Alex just discovering himself and figuring all that out while he's in such a spotlight, and the White House trio of him and his sister and the vice president's granddaughter, the White House trio, I love them so much. This book is amazing. If you haven't read it, you need to read it because it's one of the best books I've ever read. And so she got me one of these shirts. She got one for herself too, so we can match. It just says Claremont for America 2020. I can't wait to wear this like out and about and have someone be like, oh, which candidate is that? Because there's so many freaking candidates. But yeah, Whitney absolutely spoiled me, and I just had to include this clip because I love her so much, and I don't know what I would do without her in my life. She's literally, I love her. She's amazing. Get carried away. Have y'all listened to the new Bastille album, Doom Days? Holy shit. Album with no skips. Perfect, so good. Please listen to it. Okay, the PSA is over now. Evening mortals. Hopefully that's a category that all of you fall under, and if not, please leave your name and address down below. So, since we last talked, I have been reading a new book, and I didn't mention while I was reading it because it was just so good that whenever I wasn't reading it, I was doing something. And then when I wasn't doing something, I wanted to read it. So, this is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, which just came out last Tuesday, maybe? I don't know, really recently. This is about a girl who is gonna be the maid of honor at her best friend's wedding. She runs into this guy named Josh because he bumps into her car. So they get in a parking lot. She's like, you made me spill coffee all over myself and this new car. And so he's like, okay, sorry, there's no damage though. So here's this shirt. Use it to clean up since you're asking me for something to clean up with. Put it on my windshield. When you're done, I'm going into the store. Have a great day. So naturally, she uses her messy shirt to clean up the mess in her friend's car and just takes his shirt to wear. So then she goes to a little meeting of sorts that they're having at the fire station because her best friend is marrying a firefighter, and that's the truck that she borrowed. So she's sitting there having a great time, ready to meet her best friend's fiance's best friend, who's gonna be his best man. He just moved from South Dakota, and what do you know, it's homie that she was in the parking lot with and whose shirts he stole. So it's a little bit enemies to lovers, but the enemies definitely does not last that long. She finds herself falling like heck for this dude. But one thing he keeps mentioning during their, like, you know, little talks, friendly talks, because she does have a boyfriend in the beginning of this. I don't think a line was ever crossed. They definitely towed the line, but she had it in her head. She's like, I am not a cheater. I would not do that. And even her best friend would be like, you are not a cheater, so don't even think about it. So I really liked that aspect of it. But anyway, during their friendly talks, because she ends up hiring him as a contractor because she has her own business where she sells stuff for cute little dogs because she has a cute little dog. Basically, what I'm taking forever to get out is that he makes it very clear that he wants a big family, and she cannot have children because she's going to be having a hysterectomy due to a medical condition. So there's this angst between both of them wanting to be with each other, but she pushing it away because she doesn't want to make him settle, basically, and not have something he wants. And he doesn't know that about her, so he's just like, oh my god, and it's just so angsty and good. Ugh, this book was so good. The only problems I had with this was that every now and then there'd be like a line that I wouldn't love. And also the main love interest, Josh, well, he definitely had me attracted to him. Every once in a while he would say something that I'd be like, can you not, sir? Like, very typical dude thing, like, she's not like other women, she's a unicorn. I'm like, sir, please meet other women. And he's definitely like a hunting kind of type, which I would never be attracted to in like real life, but in this book I was like, you know, I don't like it, but I'm still like, you say something next and suddenly I'm So this was just an excellent romance. It was funny, it was smart, it was emotional, and it just had me wanting to keep reading and reading and reading. This was one of those books where I didn't check to see how far I was from the end, because I don't know if anyone else does that, but I know a book has really grabbed me when I'm not checking to see how close I am to finishing it. I didn't want to finish this. It was so good. Like, I want to keep reading it. Obviously, I gave this one 5 stars. Would I say it's completely perfect? No. But the things that bothered me about it were not big enough to derail the star rating. And yeah, I would recommend this. It was some good shit. I also went to the library the other day, so I have a little library book haul. As usual, I got some graphic novels. As usual, I don't really know what they were about. They were just recommended to me, so I'm just gonna show them and leave explaining what they are about when I actually read them. First up, Fence, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by C.S. Picot, Joanna the Mad, Joanna Lafayette. That name confused me a little bit, but basically C.S. Picot, she wrote the Cruel Prince trilogy. Oh my god. C.S. Picot wrote the Captive Prince trilogy, which is a bit of a controversial series because the first book has some really problematic aspects and was definitely a little trashy, but the second 2 books, so I would like to see what this is about. I heard good things. And the other one I have, which I had to walk into the children's section to get this. I don't know about y'all, but at my library, the children's section is like its own entire room so that kids can be like loud and everything and not disrupt the rest of the library. So walking in there as a full-ass adult with no child present was something. But I got The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. Again, I have no idea what this is about, but I heard good things, and dragons, Imagine Dragons, me. And that's the update, folks. If anyone's wondering how my night's going, I just ate this entire bottle of off-brand puffies while alone on FaceTime because no one answered. So in short, I'm baby. Me, ready to go in a cute dress. Even though it's short, I'm gonna have to keep pulling it down, and on one side it's a little see-through, so you can probably see my underwear, but we're gonna ignore that. Going out with friends, not my mom, who's shocked. I'm shocked. I'm having a gals brunch today with my gals, and obviously I have to at least mention it so that everyone knows that I did once leave the house. I'm gonna burn, especially with my hair down, but sometimes you just have to be in pain. But I also have another reason to update, and it is that I finished Fence Volume 1 and 2 last night. This is pretty simple. It's about a guy that goes to boarding school for fencing, and he hasn't had like the same training as everyone else, so his technique and stuff is a little off, but he's there on scholarship, so he's fighting to, you know, keep it. I gave both of these 4 stars, although the second volume I found much more enjoyable than the first. My issue with both of these though is that they are very short and they don't have a whole lot of plot because they basically take place in a day, and so I really wish it was longer and I wish there was more. However, I did really enjoy this. I think the characters are cool. We don't get to learn too much about them, but I liked what we got in the second volume. I really like Aiden's character and like how he's kind of a jerk, but he also has a soft spot for this one boy, and I'm just like I feel like Volume 1 was really just setting up Volume 2 and then the rest of the series. Volume 2 is just so much funnier and you just get to know the characters more. Not a whole lot, but more. So these are fun, they're cute. There's definitely some LGBT representation in here. I can't say for sure what exactly. It's MM though, because they're all boys. So now I'm gonna go to brunch. So I'm hot and sweaty because I went to Target. No one is surprised. Last night, I read Paper Girls Volume 5. Truly, I don't have much to say because again, it's a series. 2, it's a graphic novel. How much can you really talk about? Warning that the character who says homophobic shit continues to do so in this book. They try to justify it in a way, but I'm not a whole fan. I wish that like arc wouldn't be happening, but whatever. So that's one of the things I didn't like about it. It was still super fun though, and the ending had me screaming, and I think the next volume is the last volume. So I'm excited to see how this wraps up. I don't know when that comes out. Maybe, I think it comes out in October. Now, I had a dream last night about the Grisha trilogy, and so I woke up wanting to reread it. Will I actually do it? I don't know. I think I'm gonna sit down, pick up the first book, see if I'm into it. If I am, I think I'm gonna reread the Grisha trilogy because it's been so long and there's just been so much talk because of the TV series that's coming out. And my boy Mal, I need to make sure he's still my boy, and I need to have the right material to defend him because Darkling stands. So yeah, that's my day. Happy Sunday. Hi, yes. If anyone here is a really, really bad vlogger, could you just get like a show of hands? Basically, I've just sucked at vlogging lately, and I literally just spent most of this day editing this vlog because I edited it all at once instead of as it came in, like an idiot. I've been so bad at vlogging lately that I have started filming clips for my next vlog because I knew I needed to cut it off, but I was just taking forever to like cut it off and edit it and upload it. So I did end up starting a Grisha trilogy reread. I'm actually in the middle of Siege and Storm right now, but I'm going to talk about that in the next vlog, so if you're interested, stay tuned. It's coming. I also finished some graphic novels, but I'm gonna be honest, I just don't feel like talking about them because I feel like whatever I've said about them on my Goodreads review is basically what I would say here. So if you want to see my thoughts on the Tea Dragon Society, Fresh Romance, and Everyone is an Alien When You're an Alien Too, or something like that, or is that the title? I don't know. That was super cute, by the way. I loved it. Spoiler alert. I think those are the 3 that I've read that I didn't mention yet, but it's hard because I already gave them back to the library today, so I don't have them to hold up and like show opinions that way, which is why I'm just gonna say Goodreads link down below as it always is. Thank you so much for watching this mess of a vlog. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.